welcome back to Meanwhile in the Falklands, the podcast from FITV. We haven't seen you for ages, so hello to you. Hope you had a good Christmas. Hope wherever you are, you're staying safe and well. I'm here with
Katharyn.
Yay!
And Oliver.
Yay!
Hello, how are we all? We're all good?
Isn't it great? Last time we did this, I think, was mid-December.
Yeah, before you and Hannah went back to the UK. And I remember you saying at the time there might be a pause, and this will be season 2.
Okay.
There was a pause in the podcast while you were away.
Yeah, well, it was just you two on your Jack Jones, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, that was fun.
That was good.
But you did very well. I was watching this stuff back home.
Oh, thanks.
Back in the UK. I was watching. I thought you did very, very well. It's bloody difficult with two people.
It is
difficult. Yes. Well, it's quite weird because it was me and
Sorry,
Hannah.
I used a mustard word then. I'm going to bleep that out. Go on.
It was with two people, and obviously we've got Tom as well that was helping out filming, and usually the chief animator, but he was filming as well. We had some big projects like the speed shearing and the raft race, which was good. There's quite a few events going on, and just kept ticking away.
The the shearing competition, that caught out some media down here, didn't it? Because it's always been on the 29th of December.
Yeah.
But listener, FITV are ultra organised, and we actually rang up the organisers and said, is it on the 29th this year? And they went, no, it's not, it's on the 28th. So
yeah, got to wake up earlier than that to catch us out.
yeah, absolutely. So here we are, listeners, sitting in the offices in amidst the empty boxes of heroes and Christmas decorations that are now in carrier bags and put away for the next year. I won't be here next year.
Oh no.
No.
I mean, you weren't here for most of this Christmas either, so that's nothing new for me, Paula.
You know what? It was really odd on Boxing Day not having to work.
Was it?
Yeah, because of Boxing Day races, of course. But anyway, what's been happening? So I was in the UK. I'll tell you something, I'm quite a craft person, so I'm quite happy to knit and draw and, write my book and stuff like that. So I was okay. What about you guys? What were you doing you've mentioned a few things.
We were doing I've started knitting again.
Oh.
I'm starting to knit a scarf, which I'm tempted to turn into a blanket because I've knitted it quite big.
Oh, lovely.
That's been one of my projects I've been doing outside of work.
Okay.
But Olly's been off on a few little more trips. Last week he was off on a trip.
You totally got the lucky straw, haven't you?
Last week he was off with a load of penguins, and I was here doing the show all by myself.
Yeah, you were.
Come on, guys, I was all by myself.
So where have you been to?
Where haven't I been to? There's been quite a lot of islands. Last week, as Katharyn mentioned, I was at Volunteer Point, absolutely amazing part of the Falklands. But this is, now that it's quite a good part for us because it's quite quiet in terms of tourism. So we've got the opportunity now to send myself over, or FITV representative over, to start filming as much as we can of the islands and what Falklands has to offer. So, I've been managing to go to Sea Lion and Bleaker Island and all these places, capturing as much footage as we can. And that footage we can use for 10 years, 20 years down the line.
He's
still
really
there.
plugged himself into the PR, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's selling this now. He's like, come on, guys, keep sending me on these trips. I know how to sell it.
But in serious...
Go on, give us the line. Give us the line. Give us the party line.
No, Olly, I do have a question for you, because I've noticed every time we've got back from one of these trips, I've heard you say to people down the corridor when you've got back, like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. I didn't want to leave. And you say it's every time. Like, my favourite place. Oh. So which is your favourite place? Because you said that when you've returned.
Yeah, you're being a bit Len Goodman, you're my favourite. So
10, I do go on there and go 10. No, probably the FITV office, I'll have to say. That's probably my favourite
that's
spot.
a cop-out and a half, isn't it? What is this?
No, I mean, like I say, I've managed to capture a lot of footage. So like albatross egg hatching, which was nice. The penguin hatching, egg hatching. An elephant seal being born, 2 elephant seals fighting.
Wow.
Landscapes and penguins in a bath, which is quite cool.
Some money shots in there.
And the penguin shower, that was good at the Saunders Island. And also it was an opportunity for us to go to Port Egmont and do a story on one of the oldest settlements in the Falklands. So that was quite a nice opportunity to make a story of that, because we've never done that before. We've very rarely done that. So yeah, it's been a great few little trips.
And you've had some decent weather, I think, right? Well,
it's been really sunny and warm. Some really nice, quiet, calm days as well with no wind.
I remember being in the UK and reading somewhere it reached like 26 down here one
I got
day.
very sunburnt one day because I didn't realise how warm it was, and it was the worst sunburn I've ever had in my whole entire life.
It's bad here because of the ozone layers. It's very thin. Yeah. Well, we had snow in the UK, and I think they've got snow now. But didn't I read somewhere they had snow in Malibu, in California?
Not sure. I know it snowed here one day. It was really sunny and warm. Then all of a sudden one day it was just snowstorms. I was out doing an interview. I think it was the day when you left to go to the UK.
Wow.
I was doing an interview up at Gypsy Cove. The toilets are open at Gypsy Cove now as well.
Well,
Breaking news.
thanks to us, that's Lewgate.
Yeah,
Lewgate's
solved
over.
that problem. But so I could go in there and shelter from the snow.
Wow.
But so it did snow here as well, but not as much as the UK's had.
We do have a listener over in America. I can't remember whereabouts this person is, or whether it's a male or female actually, but I've noticed that they subscribe. So yeah, give us a shout, American listeners. Like to know what you're doing and what you're up to. We'll give you a shout. So life here in the Falklands, I've just got out of quarantine. Practically back to normal, I would say.
Yeah.
But how was it for? I know this is the first time you've quarantined, isn't it?
No, second time.
Sorry, second time. But how was it the second time? Because it must have been quite hard. Because also we did a piece with you having a swab taken.
Yes.
And people
Which people thought was fake. It wasn't.
Oh really?
That was the real thing.
Because people are quite scared about it and having a swab. So I mean, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, having the swab, not a problem whatsoever. It's just not painful at all. It's just a bit kind of like, it makes your eyes water a little bit maybe, but it has barely. But is it uncomfortable? I don't think it's really uncomfortable. It's seconds. It's literally seconds. So I would advise you to get on and do that, because it's not a problem whatsoever. Quarantining for me, it wasn't too bad because I had both my daughters with me, and one is a hairdressing student and the other one is a sports therapist. So massage, exercise.
No problem.
Living the dream, aren't you?
Yeah,
Your own
having the
little
hair
spa
done.
in
It was
quarantine.
great. Yeah, little spa. That's exactly what we had.
Ideal.
Little spa. Anyway, quarantine down here. We've now got 7 active cases.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've all been picked up during quarantine, and it's working, isn't it?
It is.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Oh yeah, I think the system works well, and obviously you have to accept that when you're coming somewhere like this, you have to quarantine when you arrive, but it's 2 weeks, and if it keeps COVID out of the community, then it's excellent.
It's working fine.
It
So
does
our
its job.
Hannah is in quarantine at the moment.
I was just saying, just to add on to that, it's fortunate as well that people that have been positive here haven't been hospitalised.
No, I read that. Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, for example, there's quite a few people that are hospitalised there.
Yeah.
So we're quite fortunate, which is good. But like as you say, it is the last line of defence really to make sure it's not out into
You've
the
got to
community.
trust people to
Exactly.
do that quarantine. And I did read on somewhere, and you don't know how true it is because there's a lot of rumour going around. But I did read that somebody was of the opinion that they'd had a negative test, so therefore they could come out of quarantine. But that's not how it works, because you could have caught it on the plane, of course. But anyway,
But what I find quite interesting here is the community here. Everyone kind of knows each other or knows of each other, and they kind of police themselves. You sat talking in a pub, and they're talking about, oh, this person's out of quarantine, blah 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 blah, and they kind of police themselves. So it's quite good how it's not just focused on the police having to keep people indoors.
Yeah,
The
but
community.
Well, I don't think anybody here wants to be the person that sets COVID free. So
Well, absolutely, but I
when
mean
we
in
were in
terms of new people coming in.
quarantine, the girl said we've seen a police car up and down the road a couple of times. So obviously just keeping an eye on things. Anyway, let's move away from that kind of stuff and think about things that we have learned this week. What have you learned this week? Have you learned the spelling of steer by any chance?
Steer, that's a new one. I've learned quite a lot. It's all a learning game here at FITV. We learn so many things.
Every day Ollie learns a new word that he's not heard of before, and he'll say, oh, that's my word of the day, and we're all sat here like, Ollie, how did you not know this one?
Well, you gave me a new word this week, Katharyn. Deep fakes.
Yes. Was that a new word for you as well? Ollie, I think actually Ollie had heard of this one.
I've heard because
Yes.
it's social media things,
Yeah.
so I know that one.
Deep fakes, yes, it's when you take photos or videos and you edit them to make it sound like they're saying something that they're not, but it's very realistic. So on Twitter at the moment, or a few weeks back, somebody had taken a still photo of these 4 guys outside.
Who are they, by the way?
Just random lads who are on a night
random
out
lads,
in
okay.
Birmingham. Taken a photo, they'd taken a picture outside a club and it gone around the internet. And then they edited it so it sounded like these guys were singing a sea shanty, which the week before had gone viral on TikTok. And people actually believe they put these guys in the news, like, how do you feel about becoming a meme? And some people are actually saying, oh my gosh, aren't they great singers? Why are people making fun of these guys? It's like, they're not the ones singing. It's really weird, deep fake.
So, listener, Katharyn used a lot of words in there that we have no idea what they mean. So you're with me on that one, listener, if you didn't understand a lot of that. But sea shanties, yes, I have seen.
Have you heard of that one?
I have seen the sea shanties are taking a big popularity boost, aren't they? I don't have TikTok, and I am not going to get TikTok.
It has ruined my internet usage recently. It's taken up all my megabytes.
Oh dear.
Because I re-downloaded it. I watched it a lot in lockdown when I was in the UK because I didn't have much else to do. Deleted it when I got here because I was like, the internet's so bad I can't watch it. Heard about the sea shanties. I was like, oh, I might as well just see what's going on. And now I just, the only thing that stopped me being on TikTok is the fact the internet is now run out, so I can't use it.
But you're on TikTok in the show this week, aren't you? You're doing
I make a little TikTok in the show.
Which is,
so you have to tune in and watch that one.
Tune in for that one.
Thanks, Olly, getting that plug in there.
Because it took, basically before, it was Vine. I used to love Vines. 10-second clips of just hilarious things. Mm-hmm. And then that shut down because Twitter owned it, and then it shut down, whatever. And then TikTok's taken over, but I've never really got into TikTok.
Do you watch those Vine compilation videos on YouTube?
Yeah.
I think I've heard you watching, and then you're sat in your room laughing.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Basically, just sometimes hilarious.
FITV house, yeah.
Just hilarious.
Vine compilation videos.
One of the big things that happened this week, listener, actually last Saturday at 20 to 9, there was a massive earthquake in South Shetland Islands, which is not unusual for there to be earthquakes in that part of the world. But this one was quite a big one, and actually on the app it had gone into the red zone because it was actually registered as a 7. Now, Oliver, using all your geology degree, can you tell me, because I've noticed when I was doing that kind of thing, which was years and years and years ago at school, we were talking about the Richter scale, and now it looks like they go into magnitude. Is that the same thing?
No, not really. I mean, the Richter scale is more of a quantifying the damage caused, but the magnitude is actually what happened to the actual rock or the actual strata itself. But there's also another one called the Mercalli scale, which manages the damage caused in terms of like the infrastructure and the economy and things like that. So the different kind of scales, but the Richter scale is used basically by media and public as like a number to say, 7.1, 8.2, it's quite insane. But scientists, and I'm not saying I'm a scientist at all, but they use the magnitude scale whenever they, on the maps and the charts and the graphs and things, because it's more accurate and it gives a bit more of an overview of the disaster or the earthquake or whatever it is.
Okay.
But it was quite hard to investigate to find out the earthquake, wasn't it? You've had to email quite a few or message quite a few people.
Because there's some seismology kit. Have I said that right?
No, seismology.
Seismic kit up on Mount Kent apparently.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to find out if the earthquake was actually registered here. But apparently there's nobody on the islands that monitors the kit. I think it's either a university in America or New Zealand. I've heard two different things.
This is why we need you, American listener.
Let us know, please.
Let us know what's going on there.
Yeah, so I've been trying to contact loads of different people to find out who has the earthquake data, messaging some friends and stuff who work with data at SARI, and they sent me a load of graphs, but I was looking at them, I don't have a clue how to read an earthquake graph. So yeah, I contacted a load of different people, eventually ended up with Mineral Resources, and they very nicely told me that if it had been picked up in a really big way here, then they would have been notified. But
sorry about that. A little bit of a interruption then, because we've got somebody coming into the house, into the office, into FITV Towers in a minute. Anyway, big news this now, listener, is that we are now all Fitbitted up, are we not?
Olly's not wearing his.
I'm not wearing mine, but I bought a Fitbit. I didn't buy it because it was a Fitbit. I got my northern sensors tingling, and I bought it because it was an absolute bargain. And it was £60 I bought it for, and it was worth about £100.
I keep seeing Fitbits on Bring and Buy that are like £60, £40, so I'm so tempted to tag you in all of them, just saying, Olly, it's another bargain, do you want it?
Because at the moment it's just on my bedside table, just not really
It
doing
doesn't do
much.
any good there, is it?
No,
You
exactly,
know that.
exactly. But it's just a bedside table, just loving life. Haven't used it just yet, so
to
I'll have to
I've
bring it
got
out.
mine on all the time.
Me too.
And it's quite frightening what my heart rate is most of the time, actually, for number one. But I find it's the battery on it is really quite good.
It is, isn't it? It lasts a
Yeah.
long time.
So interruptions galore this afternoon, eh?
Yeah, there's been so many people.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a couple of interruptions there, but we've dealt with it now. We kicked them out. This is the last little bit really of this. Loads of sports coming up. Stephen, I don't know whether you still listen to us, Stephen, but if you're still listening, we've got loads of sports coming up, haven't we?
I cannot wait. It's the sports galore for
It is
the
sports galore.
reporter, yeah.
This is like Olly's Christmas. This is all the sports coming
Yeah.
up. He's just so excited, bouncing off the walls. He can't wait.
So let's tell the listener what's coming up.
So there's the Falklands Games, which is the first time it's ever happened. So that's going to be super exciting. In terms of, and what that means is that you've got bowls players playing archery, you've got archery players playing football, and it's trying to encourage other sports athletes, I guess you could call, to play other different types of sports and to try and get people to try new things out, because the Island Games have been cancelled. So the National Sports Council, in response, has gone, let's do a Falklands Games.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah, and like I say, applications are open, so you don't have to get into a team. You can just go by yourself, and then they'll put you into a team with other like-minded people, and then you have to play 8 sports out of the overall 12. But like I say, there'll be more information coming up. And the big event, which the NPC versus Stanley is coming up as well, which was a big event last year. That was quite
and
fun.
the year before, yeah.
And the year before, yeah, exactly. And so Stanley could retain the crown again, but the teams now are being selected. I'm not so sure about NPC just yet and how they're selecting
They're
their teams.
still, by the sounds of it, because that was one of our visitors, listener, was the media ops guy from NPC. It sounds like they're still sort of finalising the sports available. Because, of course, I don't suppose, was short mat bowls available last time?
Yeah, so
It certainly wasn't the time before.
No, so that's a new sport,
yeah.
but it was very good because I was playing in it and also filming it, so it was quite
Yeah.
good. We did really, really well with that. We managed to win that one, but I say I've put my bias there, but yeah, Stanley managed to win that one, which was great. But there's like other sports as well, like squash is getting involved.
Yeah, squash has taken a... I mean, I don't remember squash being that popular when I first came down here, but that's I suppose that's the nature, isn't it? Really, people who are enthusiastic about sports sort of come and go, and it's whether it retains. So it must have been about 9 years ago. They resurrected the archery club, and of course that's kept going, and it's really good now.
With the former Attorney General, wasn't
Yeah,
it, Matt?
yeah.
And interestingly as well, speaking of that, the archery have done a virtual worldwide competition. Recently, so that was quite good. So the fact that they were meant to compete in India or something, they had plans to go to India, that can't happen because of COVID. So instead, they did a virtual competition. So Bale Chater did quite well at that. I can't remember his positioning, but I'm sure I'll be able to find that out later. And also, there's a new sport in the islands, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, what is that all about? Because I did Google it, and it seemed to be sort of like all about choking the life out of people.
The concept is, I mean, it's a form of judo, but the concept is that regardless of your size, you can take down anyone. You can choke, as in you can beat someone. Yeah, but it's all about your technique and how you manage to take someone down and how you manage to weasel out of a chokehold or things like that. So you
Sounds
don't
like
have
a recipe for disaster.
Yes, I won't be getting involved.
no,
I
neither.
mean, it's a recognised martial arts.
It is, yeah. It's
Yeah.
a very big martial art.
So
big
we were
sport.
very quick to poo-poo it then, which we don't want to be doing.
Sorry,
but
we don't
sorry,
need to offend.
jiu-jitsu people, but
But there is a piece on FITV that I think it was
last week, wasn't
it?
last
Last
week,
week,
yeah. But so we spoke to Olly Dempster, who was the guy that formed it with his wife, Louise, which very, very nice people, very nice to talk to. And they're, like I say, they're really passionate about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and hope to do competitions in the future.
Okay.
So it's just started, it's in its infancy. So.
cool. Yeah. So we've got lots of things on the programme this week. If you want to watch along and listen along, is that how it goes? Yeah. It's 518. Loads of things in it this week. We've got the swab update. Of course, Olly does this piece on ham radio, which we haven't talked about at all, but that's quite cool. We've got a plug for the horticultural show. You had to say pansies. On TV. You've got your social media, safeguarding social media thing. We talked to MLA Tesla and Bartman about, well, it's sort of about the future of diesel, but not really about the future. Environmental impacts, and renewable energy and things like that, because it's pretty good round here, because we've got 40% of our electric is generated by renewable, by the wind.
Well, we're not short of wind here, are we?
Absolutely not. Never short of wind down here. So yeah, it's a good programme this week. I think it's a good programme. We've got James, of course, cooking blondies.
Yes, he's cooking
blondies.
Is
that
blondies
the end
this
of
week.
the bulk of...
That's the last James cooking for a while. We've got through them all. So I hope people have found some fun things to cook.
Yeah, James did a whole batch of... Hey, look what I did there. A whole batch of episodes for us. We think we filmed three at a time, didn't we? So we had 6 to go out, because we knew that it would be an issue over Christmas with how many people were actually working at FITV over Christmas.
And then we also have the NSC video.
The sports video as well. Yeah, so lots of things going on this week, and well worth a look if you've got some megabytes and subscribe to us. It's only £60 a year, £6 a
dirt cheap.
Yeah, £6 a month. If you do subscribe to us and you're having issues, because sometimes the two companies that we have to deal with to get our programme out there, sometimes they don't talk to each other, and we sort of have to bash their heads together to get them to, well, we don't get them to talk. So if you are having any issues whatsoever with viewing FITV online, please get in touch, station manager at fitv.co.uk, and let me know that you're having issues, because unless I know, I don't know.
Paula will sort it out for you.
Yeah, I'll sort it out.
Paula's a woman on a mission, and she will get it sorted for you.
Yes, I will.
There is yes. There is also a. You can also look on our YouTube channel, which has a few pieces on there.
For free.
Yeah, exactly. So you can have a look on there, and there's a few pieces like the RAF race and the shearing and stuff like that. So do check out that one. But it's not the full show. If you want to see the full show.
And our lovely faces on the sofa. That's what you want to see. Smiling this week.
Actually, I think, when people put on Facebook on the community page and they go, we're moving down to the Falklands, can anyone help me with da-da-da-da-da-da? I think if you go down on the FITV Facebook page, sorry, not Facebook page, YouTube channel, I think you get a really good idea.
Yeah. Not
so much, even if you're watching about the raft race, you get to see what the beaches look like. And, if we're doing something on, I don't know, historic buildings, you get to see what the roads look like and things like that. So I think,
and crucially, you get to see some people on notify who they are. So you could see, obviously, you'll see us three here presenting stuff, but you'll see a few people that we interview, and you could be like, when you come here, I know you.
When we first moved down here 10 years ago, we watched a video prior to us arriving, and then we were in the Westall car park and saw Dr. Becky Edwards walking across, and my girls, who were a lot younger then, went, we've seen her on a video, she's famous.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Anyway, that draws this very patchy podcast to a close for this week. I'm ever so sorry it's all in bits and pieces, but we were interrupted quite a few times by some very nice people, so we forgive them. Join us next week, because we're back on weekly podcasts now.
Yay!
All right, see you next week. Bye.
Bye.